Good evening, all my Islandish viewers, and welcome to Islandish Podcast. We are here with episode 25 of the show. I am your host, your favorite side on the plate, your girl Yams, holding it down for you guys. And I am so happy to have with me the internationally recognized Minister of Music, Mr. Tiko T. What's going on? Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Yes.
Welcome to the mustard chair.
Thanks for having me.
Happy to have you here with us. It's an absolute pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
And we definitely can get into it. I have a lot of questions. You've been in the business a long time.
Yeah.
You've seen Freeport at its best, at its worst, and also as we're in this transition. Yes, that's everybody's favorite word. So let's kick this off just by reminding our viewers that you guys can subscribe below to the Superior Talk site, where you'll be able to see all of the episodes, all of the various podcasts on this network. Hit like on this video, share it with a friend, leave your comments below, and let's get straight into it. So first things first, how did you start DJing? Like, how did you get into that? I want to hear about that journey.
It's crazy because I have in my family, there were some past, but there were I would say almost 10 DJs.
Wow.
Yeah, I had uncles, cousins, who just everybody was into music.
Right.
So it was almost like I couldn't miss it.
Okay.
And from a very, very, very young age, as far back as I can remember, I wanted to do it.
Okay.
I was always fascinated with music and then sound patterns and then the scratching and the technical side of things. Yeah, so I have a lot of older cousins who are DJs. Sweet Mouth.
Okay.
Sweet Mouth is the one who actually first allowed me to touch his stuff because, with equipment too, it's hey, you don't touch my stuff. It's expensive. And I just used to hang around and when he gave me the opportunity to say, hey, I always caught on the thing quickly too. So looking at the equipment, the turntable, this is in turntable days.
Right.
Before laptops, before CDs.
Right.
This is the actual
showing
vinyl.
your age now.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we can get to that.
Right.
But the vinyl, the record, putting the needle on the record, he showed me, hey, this is how you put the needle on the record, and you hit the start button. So if you look at the turntable, it has the platter. Put the needle on the record. Then there's this pitch control.
Right.
He didn't have to tell me about pitch control because common sense. I'm like, okay, slow, faster. Okay, start, stop.
Right.
And then he taught me how to put my hand on the record and manipulate it.
Right.
So he's like, hey, this is the drop beat. This is where you start to do your mix, and it just came like second nature. So from then on, that was it.
So what age you would say you started doing it professionally, or did you start doing it part-time along with another job? At what age did you decide to go into this full-time?
Actually, I graduated high school in 1999. Showing the age again.
Yes, again.
When I learned how to actually mix and to DJ, I was still in high school. That I would have been in late grade 10, grade 11.
Okay.
So when I came out of high school, there's this club Rock and Roll.
Okay, I know about that.
Right. Rock and Roll and Club 2000. I actually, I started part-time with Sweet Mouth doing backyard parties and stuff like that. And then I met DJ Freeze.
Okay.
When I met him, I actually met him through, he had a music, this little music corner in Cooley's video rental store, which we don't have. Right. I went there, and this when CD recording first came around, and I was fascinated. I want to record a mix.
Oh, you mean burning
on
a CD? Right.
And he allowed me to come in there and do that. And I guess he realized the talent because he was like, you good. And that was right across the road from where I live. So every day, I'm talking every day religiously, I just used to go in there and hang around until he gave me a job, a side job. So I started to go along with him with certain gigs. He'd allow me to come along with him just as well as I used to go along with Sweet Mouth. So once any one of them booked, I was there.
Okay.
I was helping lifting equipment, never got to play, you know.
Right.
But I wanted to be there, and I learned just by watching. And I met Lincoln, the president.
Right.
At the time, he had this DJ group called the White House DJs.
Okay.
He was the president, and you had the governor, Secret Service. He's no longer around here. And I just started being with them, and he started giving me certain gigs. Mm-hmm. So when I got this gig in rock and roll alongside Governor, I wasn't even old enough to be in the club.
Okay.
Because I graduated at a young age. I graduated like at 16.
Yeah.
So I had the academics. I was very smart in school. And I skipped a grade. So I was still young, but I wanted to be out there.
Right.
To the point where the club owner, my mom, she was like, you have my son in this club? And he's like, but he's good. And, you know, so at that point, I started going to BTVI doing welding.
Okay.
I was working at a construction job, and I was DJing at night.
Oh, gee. So, you was on the hustle.
My schedule looked like, you would think I was making money.
Yeah.
my schedule was like 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Construction job on a construction site, hot sun.
Right.
From, I think it was 6 to 9. BTVI,
yeah, you had class, right.
Right? And from 10, and this was the time before the 2 o'clock curfew came out. So 10 to whatever time, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And at this time, I was staying at my grandmother's house in the Rocks.
Right.
So imagine me with no car.
Needing to find a way
Trying
home.
to find a ride. And by the time I make it home, it's almost about 4 o'clock in the morning, knocking on the window. I didn't have a key. Knocking on my cousin's window, and he mad every time. Getting in the house, sleeping, and got to be back up to the bus by 6:30. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did that for a little while. But it was around that time I lost the construction job.
Clearly.
Yeah, I lost, right? And I just didn't care because I was DJing. So DJing is the thing there. I decided that, hey, I just can do this. This is what I can do. And I just took it on full time.
Okay. And did you come up with the name Tiko T, or did someone give that to you? Like, what did you start out as? I know some DJs don't start out with the name they have now. Right. They just get to that. But let's talk about that journey to the name.
It's kind of embarrassing.
I want to hear the story.
Because when I was in high school, Buju Bantan had this song and say, no, call me name, no spread no rumor. I'm a vigilante. I was like, vigilante.
Okay.
So I was like, DJ Vigilante, you know?
Right.
And shouts out to Raquel Albury. She used to tease me, but Vigi, she used to call me Vigi. Stop calling me that. You know? But I had a friend in school too, who, Chavez King, he used to like to chat.
Okay.
And I used to like to beat on the desk. So beating on the desk, and he chatting, he wasn't all that good, but you know,
right.
He was be rhyming. So he had this one line where he said, who they on the mic, the fabulous Fezzy? Who they on the rhythm, the one Tiko T?
Hey.
And that around that time, you had Tyrone T,
right?
Waggy T, Terrible T.
Okay, yes.
So he, in turn, just threw the T on my name.
Right.
I like Tiko T, you know, T, it just stuck.
And that's it.
That was it.
You just go on there from
Tiko
there.
T. That was it.
I ain't too embarrassing. I think
I got the name, and then I did try DJ Tech.
Okay, no,
but that didn't.
But Tiko T definitely fits you.
Yeah,
and you are definitely, in my opinion, you know, people have their own opinions. Yeah, but in my opinion, I'd say you are one of the best, and you've been doing it, in my opinion, for the longest, and I've stayed consistent over time. Now, how did Passport Gang start?
Okay, Passport Gang now. Few years back, I want to say 2016, 17, me and Pinky from Fluid Factory,
right?
Well, we celebrate. We knew each other from primary school days,
right?
We both celebrate our birthday. My birthday is March 14th, which is actually tomorrow.
Happy early birthday!
Thank you. And his birthday is March 15th.
Okay.
So even when he had first started into promotions, I was already into DJing. So we used to collab and do a lot of parties together. And we decided this year that we were going to try something and call it the holiday weekend. So since it's our birthday weekend, we can throw this birthday bash and whatnot. I always had this idea that there's power in numbers.
Right.
Like people will follow a person, but people will also follow movements.
That's true.
So if you create a movement, you can now create a bigger following. So when we had booked King Diano, that's when he started to come to Freeport more often. We had booked King Diano, we had booked DJ Ram, Dutty Dex from Miami, and Big Pun was around at the time too. But I remember saying I want to put like an all-star team together, but I want this team to represent not just the Bahamas, but like a team, you know?
Right.
And the funny thing about it is, even with the name, before I even get to how the team came, the name, there was a time when I used to leave off the island almost every week.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Almost every week. And there's a couple times I used to buck Diano in the airport.
Right.
So we used to clown about it. They worked by Passport Gang. Every time we were always flying somewhere, and that's where the Passport Gang came from. And then fast forward back to this weekend, the birthday bash thing. I remember I standing in Club KO, and Diano and Reem were on the set. Diano was playing and Reem was talking. And I stand up there and I say, this is my team right here.
Right.
This is the team here. So, funny enough, me and Diano, we were always cool. And he came by my house and I said, let's put out a mix. Reem didn't know about it, but we put out this mix. We call it Spring, it's 2017, Spring 17. I think there was a particular song had that same name. But anyway, we putting out the name, and I explained to Diano, like, the Passport Gang, because all of us were cool. And we used Reem's drops in the mix too. He didn't know nothing about it.
Right.
Only after the mix came out, we told him, like, hey, this is what we doing. He's like, all right, cool. Let's make it happen. And that's how Passport Gang
came to be.
Okay. And then Slang started coming to Club KO, and he started playing in the club, and that's how me and him met. And I remember the security keep telling me, like, this boy talented. He never used to talk.
Right.
And I realized, like, this guy, he's really talented. Because the first time he came around, Money told me, man, give him a blind. I was like, a hot night in the club like this, but everything cool, let me see.
This ain't the night to hit and miss.
Right. He went on, and he did a real good job. I was like, all right, he came again. Like, okay, so he started coming frequently, and I started working with him. And the security's like, you know what? You need to take him under your wing. I was like, boy, I tried that before, but guys have this tendency of when they reach a certain level, they feel like either you and them on the same level or they better than you, which is fine. But when the ego comes into play,
you know,
messes
up the money and the business.
Right, and so I'm like, let me feel this out a little more. And I realized with him, he was very humble.
Yeah, he is. He's a really humble
despite guy. like different from the other people who I worked with before. And I was like, okay, I this looks like this could work.
Go somewhere, yeah.
You know, so I decided, like, okay, I'll take him under my wing for real. And that's how he became a part of Passport Gang and Destiny Sound, which is my family sound. We have outside of Passport Gang. So, yeah, that's how Passport Gang came around, and that's where we are.
Nice. I like how we got this preliminary lay of the land down. And now we could get even more into the nitty gritty. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk more with Tiko T, the Minister of Music.
For sure.
Hi everybody, I'm Jason.
And I'm Cheryl. Join us here on Superior Talk Bahamas YouTube channel every Tuesday at 6 for Let's Talk,
where we talk about issues that matter to you. We try to come up with workable, practical solutions so we have more action and less talk.
See you on Tuesday.
Okay, so we are back here with Islandish Podcast with Mr. Tiko T, talking all about not just DJ and his journey, and now we're going to talk more about entertainment as it is today. Right. So let me start getting into my heavy hitter questions for you right now. with someone who's been in the business for so long and seeing the transition, like you said, you saw it at vinyl, CDs, and now digital music and everything like that. Do you think that now it's easier for persons to become a DJ than it was when you initially started?
Very much so.
Okay, why so?
Being a good DJ, because you have DJs and you have good DJs.
Yeah, it's a difference, correct.
It's funny enough, me and Slangs just had this conversation. Okay, give you an example. Remember when I spoke about like meeting Freeze and going with him to certain events and whatnot, and not being able to go on stage, not being able to touch anything, because I don't know if you know about Above the Rim, Stop the Violence.
Yes.
Okay, shouts out to Jimmy Smith. I'll never forget. I went to a DJ meeting that they had, and Jimmy looked straight at me and he said, "I don't want no sidekicks on my stage."
Wow.
At that time, I guess I was considered a sidekick.
Okay.
And that like when he said that, I was like, I can't ever be considered a sidekick. Like I have to step up.
Right.
You know, I want to get to that point where I'm considered a DJ
on
right?
my own, right?
So I'm saying that to say, like, back then, remember we didn't have social media.
Correct.
You had to be talented. People had to rate you and respect your craft to consider you a good DJ. Nowadays, you could actually just buy a laptop. You could become a DJ.
That's true. I could.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get a laptop, someone loads it up with music, because they're even paying people to load it up with music.
Right.
They're not really putting in that work to research. The good DJs do. A lot of the people who, they look at it like, okay, you could become popular. The girls like you, or you could make money doing it. And
always in the party scene.
Right, but it's a lot more to it. And for them, the nowadays DJs, which, and you can't blame them because this is the era they came up in.
Right, correct.
But I could respect a DJ who shows the respect for the craft,
Okay.
who's willing to put in the work to research his music and whatnot. Yes, hats off to you.
Okay.
But then there are ones who just jump in front of the camera and they go on TikTok and they try to blend two songs. It might sound like a car wreck.
Right.
But people just liking it and, oh, you so bad. It takes nothing for a person to type, "You are my favorite DJ."
Right.
It takes nothing for them.
Yeah.
And then they let that get to them and they're like, okay, put me on. So the next thing, you have a promoter saying, "Man, we want to put some new faces on." You put these guys on, and then they've never experienced what it is to be in front of a crowd that's looking up at you and waiting for you to entertain them.
Right.
And then what they do, they flop.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the question you ask, is it easier? It's very easy. It's very much so easier because now you could download music.
Right, that's true. You ain't have to buy it. You
start to go to Box Records.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And flip through. Do I want this? Am I going to buy this today? I remember my first record I bought, I spent all my bus money on it and I had to hike to 8 Mile Rock with this record on them, and I was happy.
Right.
I didn't care because I got my own things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's easier nowadays, definitely.
Okay.
It is.
My other question right now would be, what would have been your first booking on your own? And my other question after that is, what would have been your first international booking as a DJ?
My first booking on my own.
Don't laugh.
It was the same rock and roll.
Okay.
I laughing because the way how it happened. Shouts out to the president again. But I was working for his company, but I was getting paid peanuts.
Right.
And what happened was, one of the nights, the governor couldn't make it, and I covered the entire night.
Okay.
And I did an excellent job.
Right.
And the guy, Kyle was his name at the time, he took a liking to me. Like he's like, but I like how you play, you keep the people entertained. And what happened was, I think something had happened between him and Lincoln, president, whereas I think Lincoln was either losing the contract or something like that, or he had found out how much I was getting paid, and he felt like that was a slap in the face to me because I'm like, this young boy take you right.
Right.
So he decided to just give it to me, And back then I used to use the president's records.
Right.
So this is where I had to call my cousin, Sweet Mo, and say, I need some records.
Right.
Sweet Mo came with the records, and I just took over the job.
Okay.
So that was my first booking by myself.
I think the first time I ever heard you play was in Rock and Roll,
Yeah.
I was not supposed to be in there at that
I
age.
just was asking, like,
if
what?
my mommy watching this, mommy, I so sorry.
It ain't only you, it's a couple of you.
Yeah, at that time.
Remember I tell you, I wasn't old enough to be in there when I first started.
So definitely had no business being there.
Couple of years.
But yeah, I was in there and I had a time.
When I can tell you, I played for generations. Like I played for people who are my mom's, in my mom's generation. I played for my generation, playing with the generation after me.
Right.
So it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Definitely. So it would have been your first international now.
First international. One of my cousins who I tell you who plays music as well. We have a sound system called Destiny Sound. And
Destiny Sound. Right.
So there was a party in Fort Lauderdale, and my cousin's friend, who's also part of the sound, he said he wanted me to come over. I was like, okay, cool. It was the first time going to the States and playing. And I was on CDs at this point. As I went over my suitcase with CDs and stuff and whatnot, and went to the party, and I was supposed to be like the early warm DJ.
Right.
Even though they flew me in, you know what I mean?
You used to warm up.
I used to warm up. Like, fine, I don't care.
Exposure.
Right there. And funny enough, the guy who was supposed to be, there was a hip hop DJ, because we can talk about that too.
Right.
There was a hip hop DJ, there was a reggae DJ, and I was the early DJ.
Right.
The hip hop DJ, he came and he was having issues with his equipment, right? But he made it through his set, and he's supposed to come back on. The reggae DJ, funny enough, he was having issues because this program had just came out. This when Serato had just
got you.
This is even before Serato. There was a program, I think it was Tractor, something like that. It was similar to Serato, but it was more digital.
Right.
So he was working off his laptop, but he could not get it to work.
Right.
Here I am standing on the side.
Waited for your moment.
We need someone to fill in. I then do the early part.
Right.
But I know how to play.
Right.
They need someone to fill in. People in here and the music, he ain't right.
Right.
He said, dude, can you handle it? Sure.
Let's go.
Got on the set. Did what I had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when preparation meets opportunity,
right.
and you was ready.
Exactly that.
Right.
Exactly that.
I love it.
Exactly
So let's talk on, because you said you want to get into that. So that was going to be one of my next questions. As someone as a seasoned DJ, would you recommend DJs to stick to a certain genre when they're initially starting out, or to be versed in everything? The reason why I ask is I know certain DJs that are really just, like, I is a soca DJ. I focus on soca. I do soca events, and they don't usually stray too far out of that.
Right.
Or there's a hip hop DJ, and they don't really do too much soca like that, or bohemian music in general. So what do you recommend when it comes to DJs who are genre specific?
Me personally, I would say it's more of a preference for that particular person. I was always one who believed in trying to be as diversified as much as possible. Because you do have places out there, like the world is very big.
Yes.
It's a very, very big world. And
Yes.
traveling has taught me, like, you have some DJs out there who literally only play the genre that they're in.
Yeah, like Afrobeats.
They literally
piano.
only play hip hop. They some DJs only play dancehall. And for years, that's how it's been too, a lot. Because, we get a lot of our influence from the Jamaican style of DJing.
Yeah, and selecting and stuff.
A lot of them, you was only into playing dancehall.
Right.
But if you listen to them now, they are very versatile in dancehall, soca, the Afrobeats, hip hop. And I think Bohemian DJs really were some of the first who were more versatile.
Yes, I think I agree with you on
Bohemian
that.
DJs are, I think, because we fall into that melting pot, like, we are very much so American influenced. We are Caribbean influenced. So we've been with soca, we've been with reggae, dancehall,
and with hip hop
and with
rap.
hip hop. So we've always had that where we know how to jump from one genre to genre with Bahamian DJs, especially.
Okay.
So it's very rare you find a Bahamian DJs that cannot play from genre to genre, even though there are some who are stronger in certain genres.
Correct.
But they still are able to maintain playing from genre to genre. So my personal preference, I would say, is try to be, at least if you're not that strong in it, try to at least cover a certain amount of it. Because me, like, I could play reggae all night.
Right.
Dancehall, because that's my personal preference. I love that type of music. Hip hop, I'm good at hip hop too. Some of the newer stuff, I might not be as deep as a Future or a Slanks, or you know what I mean. And then you have Future. Future is real good at playing soca.
Yeah.
I'm like Future. Right.
You
know what I mean? So it's just about, and I think it's just about balancing too.
Right.
And knowing the crowd that you're playing in front of, and then when it helps you as well, because when you're that diverse, you give yourself more opportunities.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say don't box yourself in.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So we're going to take our next commercial break, and then we come back. We're going to talk about the business side of being a DJ, especially here in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Bahamas? My name is Andrew Williams, aka Cat.
And I'm your boy Mix.
And we're representing Off the Bench, the number one talk sportcast in the Bahamas.
In the world, my boy.
My bad partner. So we cover anything sports throughout the Bahamas. We cover our Bahamian athletes wherever they are, and they're making waves in sports. We cover them.
Hey, just tune in to us every Wednesday here on Superior Talk at 6:00 p.m.
The number one talk show
in the world, Craig.
Okay, so we're back with Islandish Podcast, here with Tiko T, the Minister of Music. And now we're going to talk about the business side of being a DJ. Now, I would say in Freeport, no offense, nobody, all y'all is my boys, I love all y'all to death. But I feel like you have mastered when it comes to not just the business side of being a DJ, but also promoting and throwing events and remaining relevant for some time. So what are some mistakes you would say you made early on? And what are some recommendations you would have for younger DJs?
Mistakes, first of all, I would say is not recognizing the power of the business side.
Okay.
So for the younger DJs, take it serious. Like you can create a brand and actually become profitable as a DJ if you're a good DJ who is sought after, and do business right.
Right.
Yeah, do business right. I was one of the first DJs in the Bahamas who actually had a manager.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The funny thing about that is when she started managing me, shout out to Desi Wallace, the greatest. When she started managing me, we got so much flack for it. Like, people got so used to like, but use my boy, man, do this for me, and me with such a big heart. You know how much people I give discount to, or it's like, I don't want to charge them really like that.
Right.
And she had to teach me like, hey,
your price got to be your price.
Yeah, this is your business. And for a while, she never used to tell me certain things because she I was like, that's how they feel, and don't whatever. I ain't bothering them.
Right.
But she understands customer relations. So me, sometimes feeling like, okay, you trying to take advantage of me, go your way. I want your money.
Right.
Her thing is, hey, hold on now.
Yeah, don't just
can talk. Let's talk. Let's negotiate, or let's come to a common ground. And that's what she's taught me. And like I say, like just having that business aspect of it, she handled everything when it came to bookings and whatnot. All I had to do was show up.
Right.
So I made sure that I showed up on time. I made sure that I had an idea of what the customer's looking for ahead of time, and I executed. She did her part,
right,
and I did my part to make sure that our business ran proper.
Right.
Yeah. So the business part of it, definitely get that part intact.
Definitely, because I've seen some DJs make certain mistakes where it's you doing a mix and you drinking too much, now you're getting drunk and you're getting sloppy.
Things like that.
Or getting caught up in personal affairs and now you're getting caught up in fights and stuff like that, which really could tarnish their brand as well.
So stay away from it as much as possible.
Right. So with that type of environment though, what are some of the things you have implemented for yourself that has kept you so disciplined as a businessman and a DJ?
Knowing your limits.
Right.
One, knowing your limits. Keeping your face clean in the sense of like staying out of drama. Try your best to stay out of drama. You know, and we human, so we're not gonna always. We're not perfect,
right? But
you try your best to carry yourself a certain way. Even when you pull up to people's events or jobs, you dress a certain way. You know what I mean. You don't look. You be looking bust down or looking like you just ain't interested. You know what I mean? You show up and you do your job.
Right.
And I think that's where some of them need to understand too. It is a job.
Right. You ain't just saying that fun.
Right. Even though we having fun doing it, it is a job. People are paying you to entertain. People are paying you to be there. So, you know, treat it as such and you'll realize that it can be very beneficial to you.
Okay. Have you ever dabbled in radioing or being a radio DJ at any point in your career? Or do you
I have.
Okay. Talk a little bit about that for those who don't know.
I have played on Mix 102. When
big ups Mix 102.
Yeah, Mix 102 when they first came on air. I was excited about that because I was like, wow, we get our own radio station in Freeport. Like, this is, you know, ZNS was just 810.
Yes.
And 100 Jams came out and it was firing.
Yeah.
And then when Mix 102 came on the scene, shouts out to Mr. Martin. I remember he had Steely's still there.
Yeah, Steely Chin's still there.
He had the Barber was on. I know Freeze used to play. And there was the show, The Traffic Jam.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave me a spot. And that was a show that I did. And then I ended up moving to Turks and Caicos.
Okay.
And I was in Turks and Caicos for a few years, and they had this radio station. They had a room.
Okay.
With a transmitter, and the lady who I guess owned the transmitter, she would just rent it out to people. Like they had a Haitian show, they had a gospel show, and then from there just was a computer playing music.
Right.
And I was like, do you mind
if I come
in there and I only realized it because someone was promoting an event and they wanted a DJ to go on air, and I met her, Chrissy. She's like, you want to play? You can go on air and do it. I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I
hook my
stuff up and
do a little thing?
She's like, nah, sure. Me thinking, okay, now.
Yeah, exposure.
I got the key to the place. And I created my own thing where I was like, hey, if you have an event or something coming up, you want to run an ad or something, you just pay me that little dongalong.
And I do that little.
And I can do it.
Right.
So I'm playing live, like I'm live on there. And it became so hot. Like I had people who used to pull on the side of the road coming in. They want to see who this person is.
Right.
You know? So, and then what happened is, it wasn't regulated.
Right.
It was just free for all.
Right.
And then Mr. Smith, Jimmy Smith, he came down there and they actually bought it out.
Okay.
And it's now 88 jams.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So I was playing on 88 jams. My shows were, and I used to work at FedEx at the time too. My shows were 8:00 in the morning. I would show up there in my FedEx uniform, play, go to FedEx. Then I had a 5:30 mix. So I get off from FedEx, back to the radio station in my uniform, go home, and then I had a 9:00 mix. So go home, chill for a little bit, back to the radio station. And yeah, I did radio. And then they gave me like a Saturday show as well, where I was doing board up and stuff like that. Then when I came back to Freeport in 2009, I dabbled here and there with Mix 102 as well, where we would, when I tell you, me and Pinky from Fluid Factories doing parties, so we would sponsor certain slots, and I'd go in and do the mix and whatnot. And then I met Mr. Excitement from Jams.
Right.
And I met him in Andros, and he was like, he take my number and he said, I can call you soon, just be ready.
Right.
I'm like, be ready. Okay. So I remember this clear as day. It's so funny when people tell you about manifestation.
Yeah.
Believe them, okay? I keep telling myself, I say, I want to get back on radio. I miss playing on radio. And I started collecting all my clean music again. And I was in the house playing as if I was on the radio, like mixing and practicing it. Like I'm like recording and like I'm on the radio. I can remember this day, my son had just born. And I was holding him and the phone rang. And I say, hey, what's up? He said, you ready? I said, what you mean am I ready? He said, putting you on jams. I said, but stop playing. Like, that was like a big thing, like to get on jams. That's the biggest station in the Bahamas. He said, yeah, he putting you on jams. I said, when? He said, he doing Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. And up to this day, my son is going to be 14 this year. Up to this day, I still have a show on 100 jams. Tuesday nights.
Love it.
Yeah, so radio, I've definitely done radio.
Yeah. So would you recommend that young DJs try to get into radio even though it seems that technology has fizzled away from that?
Yeah.
Why?
Because no matter how much technology advances, radio stations are still around because people are still advertising. Even on this podcast, this is a form of broadcasting.
Right.
So getting into broadcasting in itself is something as a DJ you should get into. And speaking about that, I was streaming before streaming was a thing.
Right, yeah. You was doing some numbers.
like 40,000 on Ustream.
Right.
And how that happened, I have a cousin in the States, he's a pilot. And he's like, cuz, you ever heard about this thing called Ustream? We can need a part 2 for this.
Yeah, definitely. We can need more time.
Yeah, he's like, you ever heard about this thing called Ustream? I was like, no, what is it? He said, there's a link. People just be doing stuff and they streaming it live where other people could watch. I said, yeah.
Let me see.
Interesting. I was staying at Free's house. I had just moved back to Freeport. And I say, Freeze, plug this into the back of the computer, into the input, running the DJ set. And I say, click this link, go to here, let's test it out. We went live. And my girlfriend at the time, I told her to click the link in the room on the laptop and tell me if she could hear it and whatnot. And we did it. And I said, hey, copy this link and send it to a couple of your friends.
Right.
She did it. And I'm talking on the mic and I'm looking in the chat and people, I was like, oh, okay.
This is it.
This became a thing. And that's how I became that much more popular when I came back to Freeport.
Right. Because of that.
Because social media had just reached that point where it's like,
take
okay,
that leap, yeah.
Right, we about to go into something different here.
Right.
And to the point where I had people like in a national insurance place listening at lunchtime and I just mixing and talking, and every night it became a thing from 8 p.m. And
I remember that because I was working a summer job at BTC where they used to, when I used to dial the operator and they used to connect you.
Right.
That's how long ago this was. I was working there in the summer and then we had listened to you like when we have lunch break. And just we used to have a time, boy. That was party.
So now when I see like through the pandemic when a lot of DJs was going live and stream, I'm like, I was going live years ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is something I actually then put down, and you know what I mean? I was like, boy.
Time is repeat itself.
And that could touch on how do you stay relevant.
Right. Yes.
Because when you look at the history of DJs in the Bahamas, I am one of the most relevant.
Yes.
I stayed consistent over the years.
Love it. So we're going to take our last commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about legacy and the importance of also doing events as a DJ.
Yeah.
Greetings and welcome to Superior Talk Bahamas. My name is Yvette Swain and I am here with the Sword Sharpeners Prayer Network. We meet every Monday at 6 p.m. where we dive into the Word of God to see what He would say to us. You are welcome to join us. That's every Monday at 6 p.m. here on Superior Talks. God bless you and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we are back with Islandish Podcast talking all about Tiko T and his amazing business. And we're definitely got to touch on the birthday bash happening this Saturday. So give them the soundbite. Let's get into it.
Well, you know, it's all about this Saturday. Legacy. My year-to-year party, it grew into a block party.
Yes.
Because now it's grown too big for certain venues. So we take it on the outside. Yeah, I don't remember which one this is. But just know that if you've been to a Tiko T birthday party before,
shell out.
yeah,
Shell down.
it's a movie. It's a movie. So yeah, definitely this Saturday, I'm inviting the entire Grand Bahama to come and celebrate with me. Yeah, come on, let's have a good time.
All right, let them know where it's gonna be and where they could get tickets.
Ibiza parking lot. For tickets, I still have a few more on me. 806-8456. You can hit me up. Everybody has my number.
Yeah.
806-TIKO.
Tickets $20.
$20.
Okay, I have a 20 in my bag, so me over.
For sure. You sure? You good like that.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Tickets will also be available at Ibiza starting from this evening until the day of.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you don't reach me, which I always answer my phone, you could go straight to Ibiza
and get your tickets.
Purchase your ticket, yeah.
Will it be more at the door?
Well, you know.
You gotta make.
We try to encourage people to get your pre-sold. Get them pre-sold. Reason being is when you get to the door, it's easier to,
get inside, yeah.
Present your ticket and come inside. If you choose to wait to pay at the door, it's gonna start at 20, but I can promise you by a certain time, we're looking at maybe like 11, it's gonna go up.
Right, for sure. Which makes sense.
Because we try to encourage people to come out earlier.
Right.
Now, I will say, due to the fact that it's Junior Junkanoo, because I'm encouraging people to go to Junior Junkanoo because I am the official after party for the adults.
Right.
Adults, okay? Not
Big
the juniors.
Adults.
But support the kids, go to Junior Junkanoo, and then afterwards, meet us by Ibiza in the parking lot. It's not inside the club. He's setting up the parking lot like Bear Fest type of vibe.
Love it.
Yeah, so we outside this Saturday.
I love it. So with doing events and being a DJ, I want to really talk to you about that because as someone who also helps with events and does hosting and stuff like that, with so many DJs working on an event and the lineup and stuff like that, is there challenges in terms of like egos and competitions that goes with big events sometimes?
There definitely is, but what I can say about most Freeport DJs, most of us get along well. Yeah. So it doesn't. We tend to kind of could read each other, or it's like if I know I'm playing at a certain slot, and let's say Future is playing after me, I know that okay. And this comes with experience as being a good DJ too. Right. You know how to read your crowd. Right. It doesn't make sense me racing to all the top music that I know people are expecting to hear at a particular time. Because don't care what people say. You have some people who say you can play the new songs at any given time. No. The parties happen in stages. Right. You have the early warm where people is walking in and they nice and comfortable and everybody cute and the ladies go into the restroom, they check and they taking pictures. They want to find their comfortable area. So you have the more like, I want to call it the warm up music that you get them a little bounce, and then you have your mid DJ who takes them from that part to okay, we at a party. Yeah. Like let's get into the vibe now. Right, so this is where the first set of drinks are pouring, this is where the first set of bottles are popping. Right. And then you have your closer who was like the prime time, like okay, it's time for me to shake you all up now. This where money pull up time. Right. Yeah, this where okay, you then get this the steak and mashed potatoes now. The entree. Yeah, this the full on meal. So yeah, and that's where you get most of the popular songs. But a lot of the DJs are well versatile and being able to cover a lot of the slots. Right. And there was a time when every party they put me at the prime time. And I used to be like, I gotta sit and wait. But then I got used to it. So it's like, let's try to give everybody that vibe. You know what I mean? But yeah, but now I can say that about Freeport. Right. I've been to places where this DJ trying to outplay this DJ, or the ego is clashing. This one feel like he should be prime time, and why this one was prime time, and I can play better than him, and I don't get caught up in it. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been so relevant over the years and consistent, because I've watched many come and go. Right. Many because of egos. Right. So with that being said, and with you being so seasoned with throwing events and collaborating with persons like Pinky and also some of the events you do sometimes in the U.S., what are some of the key important things that goes into throwing a successful event? Promoting. Okay. Your marketing. Okay. Because in order to have a successful event, you have to have patrons.
Okay.
And if people don't know your event is happening, you can't expect them to just show up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And having the right set of marketing and reaching out to the right demographic, knowing who's your core audience, who you're going after. Like for me, I can safely say now that I have kind of bridged the gap between young and old.
Yeah.
Because you have some people who are older than me who, like, they come to whatever event I say.
Yeah, if Tiko T on the flyer,
right?
Come in,
and then you have some people who just fresh out of high school and they like same thing.
Right.
Because the other day I just played the BMES high school night and I was told
the BMES Street Festival,
right? I was told that I was the one that they really wanted. Like, really sure,
These
no,
little right.
But you know, that's a part of it. So it's all about marketing your events and putting on quality events.
Okay.
Events that people would want to come out of their house. Because you got to remember now, you're asking people to come out and spend money.
Yes.
You have to put on something that makes them feel the urge to want to dress up and spend money.
Right.
You know?
I was talking to someone. Because I have a best friend. Her birthday on your birthday, by the way. Her birthday tomorrow. She in Nassau. And
Happy birthday, friend.
Yeah, she is talking about how she like partying in Freeport more because unlike Nassau, even though Nassau have so many events, when we have a party, let's say it's a bear fest or like your birthday party, it's a quality event.
Quality over quantity.
Right. Like it ain't like, all right, something happening every single weekend.
Right.
But it's like when persons like you and like Pinky, when you all throw a party,
right.
That's a party.
We try to make sure
right.
like, the people enjoy themselves. We try to bring a quality event. Yeah.
So that is be a key thing in your opinion.
Yeah, it's not just throwing a pile of DJs on a flyer and saying it's a party.
Right.
You know what I mean? You put quality DJs. You pick quality venues, and like I say, it's how you market. Because a person knowing that this Tiko T marketing is the same, no all out ratchet event.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, you can get a little piece of this, you get a little piece of that, you get a little bit of old school here, you get a little bit of, you know, you might see one or two people slide on the head. But you know what I mean?
It's a kung salad. It'll mix up.
Right. So you could get the best of both worlds.
Definitely.
But they know it's just not straight ratchet. It's not, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Keep it nice, keep it good. But I've enjoyed this amazing conversation with you. And we definitely got to do a part 2.
For sure.
Definitely,
For sure.
definitely.
There's so much other things that we could touch on. There's so much other things. And I am proud of you for what you're doing here. And Islandish. Yeah, this is my first time, but it's definitely not going to be my last. I love it.
Love it, love it, love it. So we're going to let you go because I know you got to get to delivering these tickets.
My
you have
phone been ringing. I
do.
have my phone on silent,
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
So Islandish is definitely endorsing the Legacy birthday party this weekend.
Most appreciated.
Me and the crew will be coming out. Big up to all my fellow Pisces. I say in fellow because I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I'm supposed to be a Pisces.
I think you are.
Like, on the inside.
Right, I think you are.
Yeah. So we definitely all out to that this weekend. Appreciate you guys for watching this video and tuning in. Make sure you share it with a friend, tell a friend, and definitely make sure you're following Superior Talk, Islandish Podcast, and Tiko T and Destiny Sound and Passport Gang.
Definitely.
So we can catch y'all later. Thank y'all for watching.
For sure.
Peace out. Boom. Easy so.
Just like